You know what it is. We are all here for it. Premier League football, we love it. And we love our teams. Manchester United, guys, what is going on? The transfers this summer exits and player clearances. Is it going to be a fire sale? Is it going to be one of those summers where we know we have a mass exodus, or are we going to be making a strategic sale of players in the terms of getting rid of some while keeping some to maintain value in order to sell them in the winter window to make further adjustments? Or are we going to go full throttle? What is going on with Manchester United, guys? Well, we have a few opinions on this issue, and it's me and my buddy John Morgan is in the building. He's going to be giving his views. Maybe I might get mental ball game in here, but as you can see the thumbnail, guys, there are some players there who we have been wanting out as fans for the last 2 seasons, and some players that we might be shocked that might be leaving. Others, they may just not be good enough. Guys, your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking. Don't forget to smash the likes and subscribe. Hit those notifications bells so you can see when we're live next. And guys, don't forget to share it around. On all those watching on Twitter, don't be afraid to give me a retweet. Let's get right into this. Big up. And I got my buddy John Morgan is in the building as usual. You know what it is. How you doing, bro?
Good, bro. Honestly,
Yeah.
good. International football is finished, and now we can look forward to the weekend.
And it's one of those things. It's an Easter weekend, so some of us with the families, they got plans, and some of those who don't, it's probably still got plans. And those of you that celebrate the Easter like me, being a Catholic, big up to all of you. You know what it is. Guys, what are your thoughts, guys? There's lots of things to talk about. Let's start with Victor Lindelof. The Swede has been decent this season. He's come in and put in some critical performances as well as some shoddy ones. But he's one of those defenders that a lot of people have been said that is soft. He's not one of the most physical guys, and he's not usually the one that you can count on to take on defenders. Now, he has a good footballing mind in the sense that he's able to, invert, go forward, run some channels, make some plays, and you've seen that he's scored a very good goal this season. So it's not that he's not a capable one, but is he one for the future going forward? And I don't think he is. And it's also been confirmed recently with news on courtesy One Football, where he has been said to be listening to some offers that might be coming in from various clubs this summer for his signature. Guys, what are your thoughts? Do you want to see Victor Lindelof remain here at Manchester United after this summer, or are you okay with him moving on? John, what are you saying to that?
Uh, difficult to be fair. I think it's very difficult because of the fact that we haven't. What's up, GB? We we haven't had we know the level of Victor Lindelof, so it's kind of a one way. Rather the devil you know than the devil you don't, in a way, right? So, um, in my opinion, I would sell first. I would first sell Varane before I sell Lindelof. So if we're looking to sell Lindelof, let's first look for a solution for Varane. Because for me, I'm not saying Varane is a bad player. I'm not saying that we should sell him because he's been horrible and he's finished. And no, I'm solely looking at the fact that we've seen that he cannot play more than one game a week. He has said it personally. Physically, he cannot do it. So if we're looking at selling players and we're looking at selling defenders specifically, I would first say, okay, Lindelof, we will admit that you need to probably look for a new club. But before you look for a new club, let's first sell Varane and sign a proper CB centre back that's going to come in and that's going to start. Then we can look at you leaving. Because if he's gonna leave, then Maguire must also leave. You feel me?
Yeah, I understand. Big up to you, mental ball game. And I see GB is coming in. We should keep Victor Lindelof. Now, I'm one of those fans that I'm not too disappointed if he stays, and I'm the same. Not too disappointed if he goes because at the same time I like him. I liked when we got him. I thought he was showing a lot of promise when we did get him. I felt like he wasn't given enough, like the better chances. I mean, I like Maguire's performance this season, but I
Mm.
never truly, had an appreciation for the England captain or the former England captain. I really think that, maybe we should have paired Victor Lindelof with a more aggressive defender off the right to partner him because he's not one of those guys that's great at being aggressive, but you know what? He's better at reading the game than most. So it's one of those things for me where I'm not gonna to criticize him too much, but he's decent consistency when it comes to performances in the left back, in the center back, decent. You know what I mean? So it's not one of those things where I'm looking to be like, yeah, bro, let's get rid of this guy. So it's just one of those things. Mental.
Yeah.
The link is in the chat. If you want to pop in, let me know. Big up to you, Superfly. And yeah, GB, like we were in agreement there. He's pretty decent and consistent in multi positions. But like I'm saying, guys, at the end of the day, if the player himself wants more game time or found that he's been, he can do with a move or change of atmosphere, let him have it. Let him have it, guys. You know
But
what I'm
now you
saying?
see, Mark, on that game time, right? This season we've had a centre back crisis, and he's been a part of the crisis in a sense of he has been injured for majority of the season. Where I think if he had not have been injured, we would have been in a much better position with us not having to play um, Amrabat at left back and then Johnny Evans at centre back. I mean, now I'm not Johnny Evans did well. Don't get me wrong, Johnny Evans did do well. But in an ideal world, you're playing Victor Lindelof before Johnny Evans because of the fact that Johnny Evans is 37 years old and Victor Lindelof is much younger and much more suited in a way to the Premier League. Because I mean, Johnny Evans got relegated last season. So, in my opinion, right, um, Lindelof, and when he's played left back, right. So besides the injuries, when he's played left back, he hasn't been exposed as we thought he would have been exposed.
100%.
Like there was times where he will come and he will come into a left back position, he will come into a centre back position, and he will do a job. We can trust him. And for me, having a player like that is very very important because it adds value to the team when you have a crisis, when you have in the game you get an injury or in the game somebody in the first 5 minutes of the game somebody pulls up injured. You can bring on a Victor Lindelof and expect the same kind of output than you would get um, from the player that's maybe injured, for example, Rafael Varane or Harry Maguire. So yeah, that's just my opinion with regards to Lindelof. Um,
Big up, big up. Let's hear what Mental has to say. Mental said I would keep Lindelof, Willie, and Evans as backups for next season and get two new centre backs with Licha as the starting left sided CB. And you know what, bro? I'm not disagreeing with that at all. At the same time, like, I'm definitely going to keep Evans because I think his experience is necessary in the terms of, he's not just an experienced centre back, but he's experienced with winning at Manchester United. So he knows what it's like. You know what I mean? And Willie, from the moment I've seen this kid at the academy, I was like, yeah, he could fit in. But then I see some performances, and at the same time, when I see him come into the first team for the first time and I see how he's performed, and then I've been tracking, John Claire Todibo for the last 2 seasons, right?
mm,
And they are like, for me, mirror image of each other in the way they play, their style, their
I
physique,
would say
stature.
that Tadibo
The
is
only
a much
difference is,
stronger one.
yeah, well, I mean, Toddy Boy is a bit stronger because he's 24 at the end of the day, and
Mm,
Willie is 19. You know what I mean? So he's just turned 19. So it's one of those things for me where I'm looking at it like he's gonna get there, and he's
yeah.
already like an inch and a half taller than Toddy Boy already.
Mm,
So being the younger player, he has room to develop, and this is the key thing for me because when I look at the way Ten Hag has been doing with some of the youth, you can see it's look at Ganacho. He was drip fed in last season. People wanted him to get more game time, but this season he got that game time and he was able to
yeah.
shine. And it's the same with Willie. He's getting drip fed, drip fed, drip fed, and you know what? He's gonna be in one of those things where he's gonna, you know, probably get his time to shine. And I feel like it might come next season. You never know.
Mm,
This is why I'm looking at the fact that I always been saying this season from since December, like, hey, I don't think we're gonna get John Guillory, but we have him already. You know what I mean? We have our type already, the profile. We have that. So that's why I was always looking at other defenders because I was looking at what could we get that's supplementable, someone who's more like a Varane in terms of
mm.
you want to change things, but you also want to keep the same type of stature and presence. You know what I mean? And that's
Yeah,
why I
but
was
for
looking
me,
at guys like Giorgio Scalvini because he
mm,
provides that option. Even that youngster Amin Amino we was looking at yesterday, he provides that option at 6'2". You know what? And the young guy from Africa, Faye, he's pretty good in the sense that he provides that left-footed option that's even a cheaper option than Goncalo Ignacio, who I was looking
mm,
at all the time. The 21-year-old from Sporting, who's left-sided, similar profile to Martinez, but at 6'1".
mm.
So it's just one of those things. Big up to you, man, Lutata. And that's just my thoughts on that. But yeah, I think Mental Balding has a good arrangement there. Big up to you, bro. Have a good one.
But Mark, so we have a issue, right? We
Mhm,
we are not sure. So we know about players that are leaving, right? The obvious players that are leaving.
mhm,
Um, we know about Anthony Martial because of his contract. We
100%.
know about Donny van der Beek.
Mhm.
That's because of the game time. We know about Hannibal. That's but the Donny
Mm.
van der Beek
Hannibal
and
is a
Hannibal.
slight issue right now because Sevilla just said that they're not
Yeah, and that's
buying
what I was
him
gonna get
anymore.
to. Yeah, that's what I was gonna get to because we need to find uh solutions for these two players because it doesn't look like clubs want to buy them. They look like they just want to sign them on a free. You know what I mean? And not spend that transfer fee on them rather than it's better to spend the money, pay them a little bit more than spend the transfer fee on them. So I think that's a bit of a concern for us because I think Donny van der Beek I think is he contract coming to an end at the end of the season?
I think I'm not too sure about Donny Van de Beek's contract. I feel like his contract has one more year for some reason. I feel like it has one more season.
I also feel like that.
So I'm not too sure. I will check
Uh,
that information and maybe we could discuss that in the morning. But at the same time, I feel like there are some players who we know probably gonna leave. Like I have Ericsson on the thumbnail. A lot of people said he had a scintillating performance yesterday against the Faroe Islands, but he really hasn't had much performances this season for Manchester United. To me, one of his best performances was in the last game when he came on versus Liverpool.
yeah,
Other than that, I felt like the game against Fulham, he was one of the reasons we lost the game. And I felt
yeah,
like that for quite a few games this season. I mean, I'm not trying to say Ericsson is not a talented individual. I'm not trying to say he's not a baller. But what I'm
mm,
saying is that he's lost that engine that he had. He's lost the legs that he has, that he needs to be playing at Manchester United. Because when we put him in our midfield, we're playing a man down because we can't expect him to make tackles or cover players, cover runs, and stuff like that. So, in my opinion, it might be good to just let him go in the summer, whether we let him go on a free or someone comes in for him. I think it's a good deal.
yeah. And so Anthony Marshall's going. Let's just for argument's sake say Hannibal's gonna go. We're gonna find solution for him. We're gonna find solution for Donny van der Beek. We're going to find a solution for Ericsson because Ericsson's not happy. We're probably gonna sell Harry Maguire because I heard Everton is not Everton, West Ham is interested and he's having a very good season. So now the money shouldn't be a problem because you're signing a very good centre back. The problem I have at the moment, right, is that if you look at Maguire has been kind of our main centre back this season, like with everything that has gone on. Like even when we had all of our centre backs fit, he and Martinez started. That was just for one game though, so we can't really say that. But from my perspective, if that's the case, Harry, Harry Maguire gives me the same vibes that Matthias de Ligt gave, in the sense of he's big, he's dominant, the Lit don't have much pace, but he can dominate his area of the pitch, man. Where in the air he can dominate, and on the ground he's not easily pushed off the ball. So I think Erik Ten Hag likes that. So if he likes that, is he gonna give him a new contract and maybe look elsewhere at the sense of we have a Willie. We can bring in another young centre back, but then we keep Maguire, we keep Lindelof, and we keep Martinez, right? Varane can go, Johnny Evans can go.
I
So
think
that is the
I think that's the wrong flip in the sense that if you give Varane and Evans, what the young centre backs are coming here to learn? Who are they going to learn from? Maguire, Lindelof. Like, I'm not trying to take them down, but it's not like learning from a Johnny Evans, in my opinion. It's
yeah,
not like
I
learning
agree
from a
with you,
Varane. You
but I'm
know.
looking at the way Ten Hag would look at it, man. Because we can't doubt that Ten Hag has plans, right? We can't doubt that he has a vision of how to play, and one of the biggest visions that he has is playing a high line. Now we know Maguire will struggle in a high line, but it doesn't stop Eric Ten Hag from playing him in a high line because of the fact that that's how he wants to play, right? We've seen him get exposed in the high line, but he still plays high line. So if we're gonna play a high line, even if Maguire's in the team or not, that means that he see other things that Maguire can do. Now I have a concern that if he knows Maguire can do these things, it's easier to keep Maguire than to sign another centre back for 50, 60, 70 million. You feel me?
Hmm.
And I
Hmm.
think that's the problem because if we're gonna get it at Debo, Nice is now saying that they're not gonna give us a cut price even though Sir Jimmy is our owner. Well, hold up. Why?
I
Why?
mean, I could understand it, bro. I being fair, I would be fair and say this. I would never expect a cut price from Nice because it's not rational in my mind. You know what I mean? That's not rational. Like it's like saying that we should sell players to Nice at a cut price as well. No one is going to agree with that at Manchester United, bro. Because let me put it like this: let me say take two or three players in the squad and say, "Oh, we go and sell them to Nice for small money," like a Shadon Sancho, let me say Hannibal Medri, sell him to Nice for 100 for 1 million. People gonna be mad at that, bro. So
Mm,
flip it around. Like, we can't expect Nice just because Sir Jim Ratcliffe buy us and we know or we feel that we are the bigger club in world football, that they should
mm,
just bend about us. You know what I mean? This is why UEFA was having those issues, and this is why UEFA has that rule. So, in my opinion, I feel like, yeah, I would have liked to get to Debo at a more cost effective price. But if they say 50 million, bro, as long as they keep the energy everywhere else, we good to go. You know what I mean? If they
yeah.
don't, then I have a problem.
Yeah. And the concern I also have is we are supposed to be
Big ups to Chiv.
selling players, right? What's up, Sashu? We're
So,
supposed to be selling players. So now we're looking at the important left back. But I don't hear any rumors about letting Luke Shaw go. I don't hear anything about Tara Malaysia. No club is gonna buy Tara Malaysia because of his injury record this season. Right?
hmm.
So now we're going to sit in a position where Murphy's Law. You now buy the player that you need. All of a sudden, you have three fit left backs fighting for the one position. You feel
I
me?
mean, that's not bad since that the winter window will be coming up not too far away from the start of the summer. And let's not forget, we'll probably be facing four competitions again this season. If we was to qualify in the Champions League spot, we'd have Champions League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, and the league. So look at
Mm,
it like this: if we're playing four competitions, we have three left backs, we have coverage. You know, remember December is always be one of those seasons where we're playing 3 games a week. It's always have
Yeah,
three
yeah,
games
yeah.
a week for 2 months.
Correct.
So you need to have players for rotation. So and let's be real, guys. Like, having competition for places makes the squad stronger. So it's better for the manager, in my opinion, to have a headache in choosing who's the starters when everybody performing well. And as a fan, you should always also want that, because if everybody is performing well every time they're called upon, then no matter who starts, United plays well. You know what I mean? And this is why
Yeah.
the squad is more important. And yeah, like Mental is saying, I don't think we're gonna get rid of 10 players like Chelsea did,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah,
how
I'm
much do
not
you think we
even
yeah,
can get
living
rid
on
of
that
though?
train. You know what
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean?
That's
Manu Tata, like, I understand your question. You know what? And to be fair, like, I feel like that should have been we should have been on that since 2022 when we signed Eric Ten Hag before the start of his
hmm.
first season. I feel like
Yeah,
we should have been selling more players than we did, but instead, we gave them a chance to see what they could do to start on the third, and we are where we at 18 months later. In my opinion, I just feel like, you know what, is either we either we have in competition or we not. Is either we want 10 players to start every single game, or we don't, or we want a
100%.
squad to win every game. So look at it like this: we need to bolster the squad. And I do expect us to sell a lot of players in the summer, maybe 5 to 6 players, probably 7 at most. And
7
that's
is a
just me.
lot, Mark.
Huh?
Like let's count him in. Like who's
No, no, no. All right.
not
You
sell,
can't count Anthony Marshall because he gone. That's
but now
not a
let's talk
sale.
about
Hey,
who's leaving.
hey,
Free.
Let's talk
yeah,
about
for
who's
free, for
leaving.
free.
Hmm?
Yeah, for free.
Let's talk about who's leaving.
Yeah,
So
I
who's
mean,
leaving?
Marshall leaving in the sense, but
Okay.
he not sale. So Marshall leaving, let me say probably we the reports on Casemiro and Varane based on the cost of their wages probably will leave in. So that's 3 players, right?
Yeah, yeah, I think yeah,
Possibly, possibly I
possibly.
say, and I go and say possibly Ericsson should be might be leaving, there's
Ericsson
also
should be
been
there. Yeah,
rumors of a
makes sense.
75 million bid for Marcus Rashford, but we don't know if the club gonna accept that. You know what I
Nah,
mean?
I don't think. I
I'll
don't
be
think.
very honest. Yeah, I'll be very honest with you. I don't even know whether Rashford will be staying or will be leaving, but Ra- Rashford is kind of like 50-50 at the moment.
Guys, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, eh? But we're not gonna get rid of much players this coming transfer window.
But
I
that's what I'm
honestly think.
saying. 5 to 6 at max. That's
I
just
think
me,
that
and
is
that's
even. I think that is also even a lot because I think for me personally, right, this club cannot sell players.
is
Honestly, they can't
Yeah,
sell
true.
players
It's
because
true.
if
going
you
to take
look
time.
at the reason why Anthony Martial's leaving is because of his wages, and we're not going to renew his contract,
True.
so
Hmm.
he's leaving. Donny van de Beek also on very, very high wages. So a club that's going to come in for him needs to sign him on a free. So he's probably going to be loaned as well. So we're going to get no money for him. Then we're going to get no money for Hannibal, all right? Or we can sell Hannibal because Hannibal have that what you call it that academy tax. So he can go, right? So he potentially, but now we need to find a club for him because Villa don't want him, right?
Hmm.
Then we have that's three, right? Now we have Jadon Sancho, who they potentially want 35 million for, which I think the club is going to have a side eye because of the fact that they paid 75
Actually,
million for it.
actually, Dortmund offered 35 million. United
They
is the
don't.
one with the side eye looking at it like we really wanted to
Yeah,
get like 45, 50. So
exactly.
I don't
That's what
think
I'm
it
trying to
should be.
say. So now we have Jadon Sancho, all right? Then there's the reports of Mason Greenwood. I don't want to sell Mason Greenwood, all right? Mark, obviously you don't want to sell him.
mm,
Sasha, I don't know where you stand, but
I'm
there's
50-50.
another potential sale, all right? So now we have 5 players that we potentially wanting to sell, but we're not going to get much money for, all
bro,
right?
we cannot get. Listen, I go and say this now. I don't know. I can't say that if Mason Greenwood involved because we already know his performance in La Liga this season, and like it, be it as it may, people could say what they will. I just determine teams based on their performance in the Champions League. And let me be real, La Liga does do well in the Champions League. So you can't say La Liga is that low of a level compared to the Prem. And we've seen what he's done week in, week out in La Liga consistency. I mean, look at Ivan Toney. He spent 6 months out and he can't even show half of the form Mason Greenwood showing. You know what I mean? We're not even going to count output here. We're going to be talking about playing form. You know what I mean? And everybody is here. Ivan Toney is such an amazing striker. You know what I mean? His performance has been far from amazing, more like lackluster. He scored a free kick and 2 penalties. Whoopie ding. You know what I mean?
Mm.
This season. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
so for
saying?
Who,
me, Mark, like
who,
I just
who
think
Ivan
that we're
Tony?
not going
Yeah,
Ivan
yeah.
to
Tony.
sell. I
Mhm.
just think we're not going to sell as much as we want to sell. Like the reports, right? Remember, we are getting reports. That is a
I
violation
actually
there.
for that
It's
one.
not,
That
bro.
is a
It
violation.
is not a violation, bro. If you know what if you know, bro. Like,
Nah, how can the inventors of curry be
well,
worse
you
than
see, you see,
nah
you see,
nah
you had to
nah nah nah
understand
nah.
the history behind it, bro. Like, because of indentured laborship and the little tangent here, there was, this group of people that came across from India as well as Japan to Trinidad and Tobago. So it's come like it's part of our culture as well. It's a huge
You
part
must
of
have a
our
bunny
culture.
chow. You must come here to India Light. Here in South Africa, we have something called India Light. It's called Durban. All right, come to Durban.
Yeah,
Shashif, you must know about Durban.
Bruh,
I think
let
so.
me tell you
I think so.
something. If you go to Durban and you ask them where they import the curry and they say chief, just know it come from the West Indies. That's all I had to say.
Anyway, you must come here and you must taste the bunny chow. that
Oh
the
yeah,
Indians
yeah,
make
yeah.
here in
For
Durban,
sure, for sure.
brother.
Big up
You will,
Vegeta. What's good, bro? Hope you're having a good
yeah,
one. If you want to pop in, we're just talking about
that's my
players
bro.
leaving right now. The link pinned in the chat.
But yeah, getting back to the conversation. I don't see how we sell 7 players. Honestly, I
Ah,
think we sign players, right? We sign a important left back. We sign a centre back. We sign a striker. Um,
go on, John. Go on, go on.
we
Well,
sign a
let's go on. Let's
striker,
continue with the food.
and then we let go of the players that is on the fringes, that wants to leave, that's coming to the end of their contracts, that's getting cut deals. So that's just my concern. I think next season, I think Ericsson leaves because Ericsson, I think he's part of the new regime in a sense of I don't think his wages is too high. But I think Ericsson leaves. What's up, Joe?
Big up,
Um,
Joe.
but I don't see Maguire leaving. I don't see McTominay leaving. And we heard of McTominay once that they're giving him McTominay a new contract. So I don't see them two leaving.
Yeah. Hmm.
I don't see Rashford leaving. Rashford is definitely staying according to Ten Hag. So who's leaving? Besides
Bro,
the
but
Donny
you
van der
know,
Beek
I don't
and
have any of those guys, to be fair. Those guys that you don't see leaving, I don't have them on the thumbnail. You know what I'm saying? Because I was just talking
that's
about
true.
really the guys on the thumbnail, to be fair, because I think those are the more ones that are likely to leave. Like Ericsson, you know, we already know that he's not happy with the game time he receiving, and we're not really happy with his performances. So I think that's a mutually consentable deal that could be done easy, simple. You know what I mean? Jaden
Mm.
Correct.
Sancho, we know Dortmund willing to pay 35 million euros for him. Is if Man United willing to accept that, really? You know what I mean? Another one is basically you have, you know, like Amrabat. You know, his performances have not been great, and it's been said that Manchester United not going to hold up their end of the bargain to make it a permanent deal. And well, you know, so it's just basically those players like McTominay for me. That's a if we sell him, that's an extra. I would like to see him move on. To be fair, but at the same time, it is what it is with him. Maguire for me, I would like to see him move on as well. But if we keep him and we sell Victor Lindelof, who we know is looking at other options right now currently, then it's not too big of a deal. If we could get 5 to 6 out, welcome Vegeta, big up to you. Then you know it's one of those things for me that we could keep it moving and add to that in the winter transfer window as well. So
Hey, welcome,
Mm.
guys.
big up,
I
man.
thought I'd come in and weigh in. First of all, the curry thing, mad. Don't do that.
Big up, bro.
Wow.
Big up, big up.
You
Big
know,
up.
with this whole topic around selling players, I think we need to look at it the same way we look at building a squad, right? The key ingredient is balance, right? And when you're trying to build out the perfect balance, you have to figure out what it is you actually want before we start selling or buying. Because I feel like in the past, all we've done is, oh, this looks like a nice shiny toy, buy. Oh, we're tired of this toy, sell. We don't actually consider how this is going to affect the greater scheme of things. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Because the reality is, there's probably what 50 to 60% of the players that we need to get rid of. But realistically, we're not going to get rid of all of these players now in the summer. So you have to you have to prioritize them. You have to put them into priorities to say who needs to go now, who needs to go later, but they all need to go. That's the end goal at the end of the day, right?
True.
But
And when
Vegeta,
I'm
I
looking
asked a
at it,
question.
yeah,
So if you don't mind me coming in here, right?
no
I
stress.
asked we look at our club over the last, let's say, 10 years.
Yeah,
Moyes, Van Gaal,
yep,
Mourinho, Oli, Rangnick, right? Okay, let's
yep,
not count Rangnick, all right? But these 4 managers don't have a history of making great players. All right, there's
yeah,
very few managers that's
yes,
out there that makes good players, and you
yes,
have hybrid managers like Pep Guardiola that buys good players and makes good players. Then you have a manager like Klopp who makes fantastic players. For example, he buys Robertson from Hull and he makes him a world beater. Right.
yeah,
So for me, I look at our manager in Erik Ten Hag and I see, okay, he cannot, because I see Man Lutata trying to get digs at my manager, right? I look at
uh-huh,
Erik Ten Hag and we remember how Wan-Bissaka played before Ten Hag. We see how he plays now, right? We remember Harry Maguire before Ten Hag. Look how he
yeah,
plays now. We've seen Rashford before when he was with Rangnick. No output, 30 goals in next season, goes through a bad patch this season, right? So we've seen our manager improve certain players, but to their level of capacity. Right
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
I would
Absolutely.
say, right,
Absolutely.
based on how our club is run, we don't know how to sell players. And then how kindly, for me personally, I think he relies on the fact that he makes good players, and he relies on that fact. So then he says, okay, it's fine, you don't have to sell these players if you can't, but I need to buy these other players so that I can still compete. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
I hear you, but at the end of the day, guys, I think we need some therapy because the PTSD is real. We need to let these people come in do their job. We can't think as if we're operating on the same level. We're not. We don't know how Omar's gonna operate within United. We don't know how
Mm,
or if they get done. So we yes, we couldn't sell in the past, but look at who was running things in the past. That it wasn't those managers.
mm.
We had a flipping commercial guy making football decisions. That made no sense, guys. Of course, we're not
Woodward,
going
right?
to be able to sell people when we are
Mm.
giving people deals as if they are signing for a Hollywood blockbuster. No, this is football. People are supposed. No, that's the reality. That's what it looks like. I mean, look at
Mm.
Maguire, 7-year deal. Who gave him that? Which crackhead decided we're gonna give you a 7-year deal? And because of those kind of decisions, yes, we can't sell. So yes, some people, and also remember, some people are not going because we're selling them. They're going because contracts are running out.
Facts.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say is, we need people need to go, whether it's this season, January, but they have to go eventually. It's just a matter of prioritizing there, who goes when and how.
Mm.
That's it.
True.
So who do we sell? Like, this is open to anyone. Who do we sell then to maintain balance?
I think for the sake of balance, I think Luke Shaw needs to go because he's hardly ever here. So we need
Yes.
a left back.
Mm.
We we
Definitely.
need we need to prioritize another centre back because we need a partner for Licha.
Mm.
and
Lisandro, yeah, yeah.
and what's his name? Varane might leave if he doesn't choose to decrease his thing. So that's another thing we need to consider. So we need another centre back to balance out our back line because look at how many changes we had to make to our defensive line. And I think that's what's been killing Ten Hag the most because
Yeah.
you can win a game with good attackers, but you win leagues and titles on a great defense. So we really need
100%.
to fix that at the end of the day.
100%.
Facts.
Yeah,
So that's
and
where I would start.
yeah, I mean, like yesterday, bro, John and I and the guys was here. We was doing a little, a video on some possible targets of some youngsters coming in, and based on what you are saying there, it's starting to seem more plausible that those actually might be targets that we're actually looking at because we looked at you know three centre backs
Hmm.
yesterday, and two of them were multifaceted. One could play left back, and one could also play right back, right? And the three young boy was one Anselmino from Boca Juniors, was young Five from he plays in Barcelona Academy, also plays for I believe it was Cote d'Ivoire. Is Cote d'Ivoire John?
Wasn't it Senegal?
Senegal. The
Mm.
that young defenders, both of them are average height 6'1". One is a better ball playing
Oh,
defender, and the other one
there
is
was there was like another centre back who looks pretty similar to that Arsenal centre back. What was it? Gabriel.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Is it?
That was
Yeah,
the other guy that I was talking about yesterday. So I
yeah.
mean, like we have a lot of options that they're looking at, young options that not that expensive because as you know, we was talking about it, 17.5 mil. They say if there was a bidding war, it might reach up to the region or something about 25 million. And the
Mm.
same thing for us and Slamino, probably 17 million again. Those prices to me seem reasonable. And if we had to replace centre backs, let's just say we kept Harry Maguire and we have Willie Kwambala and Martinez there. Having those two guys come in actually improves us because they will compete with Willie and they will be back up. They will come in and get moments,
Yeah.
be drip fed in.
Voila.
You know what I mean? So it's one of those things.
Mm.
Big,
See Joe there in the comments. But so for me, right, I'm thinking now, like, we are linked with Olise, we linked with a striker,
Mm.
but only Martial's leaving. So I would, if I'm the club, I'm not looking at Olise right now, right? I'm
Yeah,
looking at him
No, no, definitely
as a
not. 100%.
yeah,
yeah.
as a kind of a backup signing because we're not going to sell Anthony, even though regardless of his
Yeah,
performances,
true.
He's on 80 million. He was costed us 80 million pounds, and he's on 200
80.
grand a week. Right? No club is paying Anthony 200 grand a week, and he literally signed a contract yesterday. So he's not going anywhere. Then we have Garnacho, who's our up and coming um, world beater, superstar, right? We all can all agree that Garnacho is fantastic. Then we have Rashford, who signed a contract last season, 350k a week. Nobody's going to give Rashford 300 to 400k a week and still pay out his contract that he signed last season. So our wingers and our attack is kind of sorted from the perspective of from the wide, right? So we're just looking at a number 9, which is kind of a difficult one because we have Rasmus Hoyland, who we can all agree is doing a good job, and for his age, he's good, he's fantastic. So now, who do we bring in that number 9? Because Rasmus Hoyland, as good as he is, he can't stay fit, and that's the issue. So we need to bring in a player that's going to be able to complement Rasmus Hoyland within the 70-game season next season. And we're talking about outgoings, so we can't sign wingers because nobody's going wide, nobody's going leaving that plays wide. We can only sign a striker, and if Ericsson leaves, then I would say then you bring in a young a midfielder. But if Ericsson doesn't leave, I don't see Casemiro leaving, so we can't sign a midfielder then
I mean,
because
as Ericsson is definitely leaving, bro. Like I could tell you for free now that he leaving. It's just I'm not making a guess with Ericsson leaving because I could tell you now he not getting a new contract. He not going to get more game time. It's done for Ericsson, bro.
Yeah, I think
And
it's done.
we really only signed him here as a stopgap. He was never signed to be here for no 3+ seasons. It was signed here to probably be here for a season and a half or two max.
Hmm.
You know what I
Mm.
mean? So you have to remember, some players like is short-term signings at the end of the day. As much as we might not like it,
yeah,
some players will always be short-term signing, especially due to their age and how we get them. And like I would say, we still want to sign Rabiot. A lot of people might be against that based on his mom being his agent and how she behaves. But if we look at Rabiot, bro, I being honest with man, I honestly believe if we had get Rabiot instead of Ericsson, we'd have done a lot better because Rabiot would offer a lot more. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
there
Mm.
are reports that we offered 90 million again for Frankie De Jong. So be prepared for the saga again this summer, guys. You know, and
Yeah,
Joe, yeah, I know some people, a lot of reports saying that we want to sign Olise, but let me be real and honest, bro. To sell Mason Greenwood for 50 million and spend 70 million
yeah,
on
This is
Olise, that
that
makes
would be opportunist.
absolutely no sense to me,
That
guys.
would be
I don't know
opportunist.
about you, but that makes no sense to me.
No
You know what I
sense
mean?
at all.
Because
Nah, nah, I'm not with it. I've
Yeah,
just got a few thoughts. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Kenny.
yeah. I was just about to say don't get me wrong. Olise is a good player. Don't get me wrong, but you have to look into his injury records as well. It's not good. It's not really good for his young age as well.
that's so
true.
true. If he
Vegeta,
hasn't he hasn't finished he hasn't played 3 games in a row. But anyway,
Yeah, no, I've just got a few thoughts. I think besides the on-field shenanigans, there's a couple of things that also need to either stop or start getting going. For one, stop talking about the manager. This whole O'Neill, Southgate, whatever. No, 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 that needs to
Yeah,
stop.
there was this
We
Gary
don't
O'Neill
need to
stuff
sign
before
a
that. I
new
think.
manager for
Yeah.
flip's sake. Damn, they need to
100%.
chill. They need to chill
And
with that.
you know, guys, I just wanted to bring this question because I know we all have to get to the reckless thoughts in a few. Hopefully KG is gonna be out and roaring with some flip flop deal this morning again. It would be nice to
Yeah,
have a reckless
he would do
morning.
that for
But I
sure.
wanted to mention this because I know a lot of people, especially myself, very concerned about this. So United has been in talks with UEFA over the last 2 days, and we have been given assurances over participation in Europe next season after because everybody was saying that most likely if Nice was to qualify fourth and get Europe, we would be out. If they were to qualify third and get UCL, we would be out. But that is no longer the case, and I think we've done a similar deal in towards what the RB Leipzig group has done. So be sure that more information on this will be brought out. But I could read the article really quickly for you guys as well. Manchester United have been reported given assurances by UEFA that they will participate in Europe next season, even if OG Nice qualify, despite concerns brought about by the football's governing body, restrictions on multi-club ownership. Last month, confirmed via a public statement that Sir Jim Ratcliffe completed his 27.7% investment into the club. Since then, Ratcliffe and his Ineos organization have been conducting a thorough audit of United as they aim to identify possible areas of improvement. Well, we know all of those things basically. Amidst all of those things was the conflict brought about by his ownership of OG Nice. Ineos billionaire is the majority shareholder at Nice, who are also chasing European football ahead of next season. At the moment, the French outfit lie in fifth position in Ligue 1 standings, level on points with fourth place Lille. Qualification for Europa seems to be a real possibility for Francesco Ferroli's side. United,
Yeah.
who are currently in sixth in Premier League, also seem on track to attain Europa League football. Under UEFA rules and guidelines, the same owner or entity are not permitted decisive influence in decision making across two clubs or more clubs. Under existing regulations, if United and Nice both finish in Europa League places, in the Premier League and League One, respectively, the outfit came higher between the two would be granted admission into the European competition, while the other would be barred from participating. Ratcliffe previously addressed this issue and indicated that Ineos has held talks with UEFA. The Oldham-born billionaire informed fans that there would be no problem and United would certainly not be prevented from playing in Europe. So guys, I don't know about you, but that seems like a lot of good news for me.
Yeah.
And yeah, what are your thoughts?
Self-explanatory for me. Like I think mental ball game articulated perfectly. Mark United playing in Conference League will get more TV revenue than any other team playing in CL. UEFA is not going to
100%.
stop United from competing in Europe. Don't worry. I agree with 100% for that. Like honestly, like bro, do you think United are gonna get kicked out of Europe? We are the bro. Look at the panel right now. You have one trainee guy living in Germany. You have one Kryptonian living in South Africa. You have Kenny Fan TV, Indian living in Australia. You have Vegeta Sama from Josie in South Africa. We're global. So you telling me this global fan base is not going to be allowed to not gonna is gonna cancel the or is not going to be allowed to watch the team play Europe? Absolutely not. That means United fans make money for revenue. You know what is funny, eh? Here in South Africa, when United play, regardless about who else is playing, we are on the main channel because it's
Yep.
United. Regardless of
Yep.
who is on the league, where is on the league, Arsenal, United is playing on the main channel because it's United.
100%.
Yep.
Big
So
up
TST.
to Joe Blackman from JA.
They are already in the Copa America already.
Big up.
Good for them.
And like Vegeta, I know you wanted to say something, bro.
No, no, no. I'm just saying with this whole UEFA thing, I mean, like, it needs to just change their name to Carrington FC. I mean, they must just be the academy. I mean, they know who the big boys are here. If Redcliffe and them have to choose between United and Nice, we're gonna generate more money for them. So they might as well just call themselves the under 21s for United and call it a day.
100%.
You know,
100%, bro.
that's all
One
I'm saying.
more one more article that I brought to my attention earlier on today. I had it up on the screen just now, and this is about the nightmare. A nightmare stuff that happening in London for the last 2 years. From my knowledge, is happening in Germany, but not as often, to be fair. And there's works and progress happening with the trains. And there's going the last. It is said that the last train that leaves for the night leaves 10 minutes before the Manchester United game starts. So how are fans going to get home after the game is finished against Brentford? And this is a concern being shared by some fans. So I just wanted to bring this to your attention. Manchester United fans have been left muddled in confusion and chaos as a result of two fixture changes. Brentford this weekend and against Coventry City in the FA Cup later in April. United are set to the G-Tech Community Stadium on Saturday to take on Thomas Frank's men, and in what's shaping up to be a crucial game for the Red Devils in their quest to attain Champions League football. The match will kick off at 8 p.m. According to the Daily Mail, fans who are planning to make their way to Brentford Stadium by train are facing huge travel disruptions due to planned engineering works. The game starts 2 minutes before the last service from London St. Pancras International to Manchester Piccadilly is scheduled to leave. And the newspaper also notes, meanwhile, no trains will run to and from the London Euston station over Easter, while Network Rail carry out improvement work, meaning there will be no direct trains to Manchester on Sunday.
Yeah, the
United
game is
versus
late actually. The
United
game
versus
is late.
Brentford represents the fourth time this season that the Red Devils have a fixture moved to the 8 p.m. Saturday time slot, the most of any Premier League team this season. Guys, what are your thoughts on that?
All good for
Poor
me, bro.
fans, man. That's all I'm saying. Poor fans. Sounds like we're gonna have an empty stadium because unless people can learn how to fly or teleport, it doesn't seem like people are gonna be getting around on the weekend, which is a shame, you know, because unlike us who are international fans, people like have the privilege of going to the stadium, and people like that, you know. Some people don't enjoy watching the game at home on the TV, so I think that's just a shame for the local fans, honestly.
Yeah, facts.
100%, bro. 100%. You know what I mean? And like to be fair, guys, like it's not something that, obviously we want, the works to be carried out, improvements to be made, and the systems around us, and for it to be more efficient. But they need to figure out a way. But you know what? Usually in a situation like this, I don't know, but I've experienced it once or twice before going to an away game where Manchester United will probably hire some extra buses to make the journey, which undoubtedly will be about 2 or 3 hours longer, but they will provide some form of transport for the fans traveling away. I know it's something that they usually do. So yeah, but again, it's always the fans that suffer in these moments. You know what I'm saying, guys?
Yeah, man. Rich people don't care.
Bro, I just looked on YouTube now. My name is in the description of Reckless Stories.
Yeah. I was wondering. He was
I'm
like
confused.
hosted by
Yeah, we
John
gotta
Morgan.
go. Your name is in the description.
Your name
That's
is there.
Last
insane.
night I put you on. I thought South Africa was playing Nigeria, so I was like, KG, maybe this guy was smiling so much because he wanted to cook you because South Africa was winning. Then I
Now it's
realized it
Algeria
wasn't.
though, but it was a hard game though. But anyway,
Oh,
yeah,
okay, okay.
I should
Algeria
find
was
it
it?
what
Yeah.
that's about.
Big up, bro. Catch you later. We're all gonna join you there in a moment. Vegeta, first time on my channel. I hope you're having a good time, bro. Welcome
Nah,
to
bro.
you.
I love this channel, bro. I'm having.
It would be nice if you come through more. If you want, bro, in the private chat, just drop me your email. I'll send you a link so you could always just pop in whenever you want, bro. It's all good.
Cool. Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yo, Kenny, I know you gotta go. Make sure you charge the battery up, bro.
We will be
You
there.
know what it
We
is
will be
today.
there.
We're gonna
We
be
will be
on
there.
that.
We will be there.
We will be there, my brother. I will see you shortly on the
Yeah, I
Reckless
will see you
Thoughts,
shortly.
bro. Big up to you.
No
You
problem.
know,
No problem.
prepare your reckless takes, bro. You got to do it once a week. You must have a reckless take. Certainly one that's gonna, at least have the chat laughing. You know what I mean? Pav has them almost every day, bro. Like it's crazy. This guy. I don't know where he gets his rhymes from. You know
All
what I
right, man.
mean?
All right.
But yeah, guys, big up to you guys watching. It was just a short stream to talk about the players that possibly leaving that we know most likely will be leaving, and possibly, I'm not going to talk about players that that I'm speculating to be leaving the club. The ones that are directly leaving, like Anthony Martial, based on his contract being expired, Donny van der Beek as well. These are probably the sure players that are leaving guaranteed, as well as there's issues with Ineos in terms of player contracts and those ones where basically, okay, no problem, bro. I'll put it in the chat shortly. The Ineos has the issue with the prices and that they're paying for player salaries right now, so they're trying to cut the wage bill down, and we might see sacrifices to that in the form of Rafael Varane and Casemiro. But there's also players looking at other opportunities and life away from Manchester United, like Christian Eriksen and Victor Lindelof, and as well as Jaden Sancho, because as he says he's home at Dortmund, and Dortmund are willing to pay 35 mil, as if Manchester United are willing to accept it. So, guys, look forward to the transfer window. I'm just keeping it real. I think there's going to be 4 to 6 players sold, and maybe bring in 4 to 6 players. Hopefully, we do more business, but there's always the winter window to follow that up. I'm going to be dropping the link in a few seconds for KG's channel, guys. So hold on one quick second as I get that prepared. Big up to all of you joining, and thank you so much for coming in today. It was my pleasure to have you and to have, guys like John Morgan with me today, as well as Vegeta Sama for his first time on my channel. Guys, get your thoughts in the comments. Those of you on X, please don't forget to give me a retweet, and be sure pop by on the regular YouTube and give it a like. It helps the channel grow, and it's one of those things. So guys, this is the link for the Reckless Talks with KG. I hope you guys enjoy it. Everyone's a family on there. It's in the chat. Big up to all of you. Couldn't have you on Mental Ball Game, but we'll be glad to see you tomorrow. DJ Superfly, always great to have your company. Manu Tata, big up to you. Mod in the building. Stephanie, you're definitely the MVP. Hope you have a great day. Catch you later, GB. Matata United. Crow to send you £100. Crow, send me £50. Guys, have a great day. And you know what it is. It's Manchester United all the way. Catch you guys on the flip side. It's been your boy, MarkN MUFC Fan, with the Morning Views Manchester United news. Oh.